Good to see everybody. Like to open by thanking our fans again for the great atmosphere Saturday. Really impactful for our players, obviously, recruits, alumni that was in town for homecoming. Just a fantastic environment, one of the best in all of college football. So appreciative of that. Really proud of our team in a hard-fought win. Certainly not a perfect ball game, but against a good team, I thought they played. I thought we played, aggressive. I thought we fought. Thought we strained. Played a really good day defensively, tackling and fits, maybe our best on the year against a team that has a quality run game. So, we've obviously begun preparations for Syracuse. Unfortunately, that won't be in Lane Stadium. We got our hands full with their environment up there. Tough place to play, good football team. They've got 5 wins, a couple of conference wins over NC State and Georgia Tech. Coach Brown in year 1 doing a heck of a job. He's got momentum. He's brought energy to the team. They're playing aggressive. They're playing fast. And then they've got what I would say a superb talented quarterback, a guy that leads the league in passing and 64% completion rate. He's got some good people he's throwing the ball to. 2, 7, 19. I mean, there's one bunch of guys that have a lot of catches right now. So we got our hands full. I need to have a great week. I'll take some questions.
We'll start with Andy. Just a reminder, please, to speak into the mic when you have a question.
Jalen Lane was on ACC Network last night, said that he thinks Tootin is going to be good to go this week. Do you share your receiver's enthusiasm about Tootin's status?
Last I checked, Jalen didn't have a medical degree. So I think Bayshaw's probable right now. Again, I won't know much more until today and tomorrow, to feel better about it. He is tough. I think we all know that. It was a decent injury that, obviously, we're concerned about. But, I'm kind of like Jay Lane, not in the dramatic sense with Bayshaw, but that he's tough, and if he's got an opportunity to play, he will.
How about Chaplin? Looked like he was dealing with a couple different things in that game.
Yeah, he's got the shoulder that's kind of been ongoing a little bit. He got leg whipped, got a kind of a minor bone bruise, but I'd say Xavier is probable also. He's a tough guy.
Brent, you mentioned going up there to play at Syracuse. It's been 8 seasons since Tech has played up there. Obviously, you've coached up there. Pearson's played up there. Jarrett Ferguson's played up there. JC's played up there. Are you going to do things that you've done in the past, like this year with BC, bringing back, like going through the history of that? I think you did the same thing with Virginia last year. Are you going to go through the history of that to explain the significance of playing in the Dome and what that means in this Virginia Tech-Syracuse rivalry?
Yeah, I think in general, talking about the tradition and the respect for this rivalry, whether it's here or there, been a lot of big games. We're fortunate. We do have a bunch of guys on staff that have played in those games and has played, in Syracuse. But they've got a good football team, a good environment. It didn't go well the one time I coached up there in '96. Wasn't one of our better days, but we're looking forward to the challenge, looking forward to the opportunity, and I think there'll be some old heads on our team that understand what it's like to go on the road in a tough environment, and they got to lead this group.
You mentioned Kyle McCord earlier. It looks like they do a good job in the passing attack of whether it's at the line of scrimmage, short, medium, deep attack. What makes him stand out in terms of what they do within their passing attack?
I think he's got a quick release and he's got a really strong arm. And as you mentioned, it can be the quick throws, which they do plenty of. They break away from coverage, and he can throw the shots. Back shoulder balls, fade balls. He does a nice job placing the ball. And it's not just one or two guys that he targets. There's 4 guys to me that we have to be well aware of.
In these last 2 games, you guys are, I believe, 4 of 24 on third down offensively. What do you see about just maybe not converting in those situations? What stands out on film?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago was a little different. We were different. We were able to stay on schedule and did some things. But this past weekend, we had too many 3rd and 7 pluses when you look at it. We got off schedule, too many P and 10, 1st and 10, where we get a minus yardage play for a variety of reasons. And when you go into the second play to start the series and it's 2nd and 13 or 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 12, it's that much harder to kind of, to convert on 3rd down. So, that's been one of our keys to success, for a couple of these wins is staying on schedule. It's going to be important for us to do that, up in Syracuse, particularly with the high, the high output explosive offense that they have.
When you look at this Syracuse defense on film, what jumps out to you?
Fast. Yeah, they're fast. They're aggressive. They have a great time playing. They're flying around. Fidel Diggs, I'm well aware of him. We recruited him at my previous institution. He's leading their team in minus yardage plays. He's a problem on the edge. They got a couple of DBs that cover very, very well. So we've got our hands full.
I know their DC preceded you at Penn State. Do you know him at all? Any crossover there?
I know Coach Robinson just from recruiting against him. He's from New Jersey. He did a great job recruiting the state of New Jersey while he was at Texas A&M. Everybody at Penn State spoke very highly of Elijah.
And Will Panay's sort of stepped up into a starting role, getting more reps. Anything about his play this year surprise you? I know you guys went hard in the portal for tackles. Has he stepped up his game maybe more than you thought he might this year?
I'd say I'm a little bit surprised. He's always had a lot of determination. He's had a variety of things set him back, but he's been able to stack consistent weeks this fall, this fall, that I think is really allowing him to reach his potential. He's smart. He's got good change of direction. He can run. He's pretty athletic, and he's got incredible determination right now. I think several of those plays were great examples of that. So my challenge to him this week was to let's raise it another level. The game's slowing down for him. He's able to play faster. Let's take advantage of it.
How do you prepare for a team that runs the 3rd most plays in the country on average and also leads in time of possession? What difficulties does that impose?
Yeah, obviously fast-paced, practice sessions with our D squad, with our developmental squad, our look squad. We got to have our guys as prepared as we can for the tempo and the pace of things. It's challenging to do that with your scout team. But we'll have a good plan there. We'll get a lot of clicks, a lot of plays run. We've got to be able to roll guys and utilize our depth. These guys are averaging in the neighborhood of 80 plays a game, I believe. So we'll have to do a good job at rotations, a good job hustling after one play's done, getting back to our home positions and getting that next call.
And in that same vein, it looks like their 6'5" tight end Gadsden's going to be good to go. What sort of matchup problem does he insist there?
Yeah, you said it, 6'5" with great ball skills. You can throw that thing up, and he's got a heck of a chance to go get it. He's quality receiving threat for them.
We'll go Damien and then Brooke.
Your red zone defense this year has now moved up to 4th in the nation. What do you contribute to how well your team plays in the -20 area?
Yeah, I think first of all, it's the mindset that Coach Marv and those guys have created with our unit. I've been around, unfortunately, defenses that stumble out there on those occasions. But our group really bows up. Somebody can drive the field, and then we get very stingy right there. And you got to force the field goal or a takeaway. That's the mindset. And we've been fortunate. We've played pretty well down there right now.
I think Tech fans have probably were a little spoiled over the last few weeks without having to see Peter Moore come out there as much. What can you say about what he did Saturday and his 10 punts and being able to have the average that he did?
Yeah, very impactful in the game. There's a reason he was our special teams player of the game. If he'd had a bad day punting, that thing could have gone differently. The defense had their backs against the wall there in that fourth quarter, especially when we couldn't get anything going on offense. And those punts, particularly a couple that flipped the field, really important in us being able to, again, play complementary ball, and we had to have him step up, that unit step up. They rushed several of those kicks, so the protection was good, the operation was good, and obviously the kicks were good.
After going through review, what was the breakdown on John Love's 55-yard field goal attempt?
Yeah, we got penetration. I don't think the kick was necessarily low. Any long one's going to be a little lower than others, but I thought it came off his foot good. We just didn't protect it well enough.
Was the snap a little high?
A little high, but not enough to merit a block.
Back of the room, Brooke.
Coach, Benji said on Saturday that 4-play drive that he scored on was a bunch of creativity, and that Bowen was calling some things that we wouldn't typically see in a drive like that. Should we expect more wrinkles like that? And at what point in the game, I mean, it was second quarter, what point do you say, okay, we're going to flex a little bit and try to do these unusual things?
Yeah, I think that was, again, I appreciate Benji pointing it out. Coach Bowen and the offensive staff, a couple of good designs that led to some scores. Benji's uncovered. It's a busted coverage. I'm not even sure they saw him there. And then obviously the razzle-dazzle with Jay Lane and Kyron. I mean, good stuff. They don't always work, but they can merit explosive plays. And in this case, they merited touchdowns, which were very necessary in the game. We have a period devoted on Tuesdays to kind of those type of plays, and the offense has the opportunity to run it against our defense to kind of get practice going. So it's been a good period for us all year.
Let's go to David, and then we'll go to Zoom for a couple.
We're going to talk to Jalen here in a second. I mean, for him to throw a touchdown pass, and he's already accounted for one on the ground and through the air and returned a punt. What can you just say about his versatility for you guys and able to kind of be a gadget in some of those situations?
Yeah, I'm so proud of him. He's a really good athlete. There's part of me that feels like he could play tailback. He's just really good with the ball. He's smart. He's a quick learner. He's got good ball skills. He's tough. Good agility, and then obviously his ability to make people miss and to even run through tackles. He's he may not be the tallest guy, but he's put together pretty good, and I think he's tougher to bring down than people realize.
All right, let's go to Zoom for a few.
On Zoom, please use the raise hand feature to ask questions for Coach Pry, and we'll start with David.
Brent, you were talking about McCord's completion percentage and ability to throw different types of routes. What did Pitt do so effectively to rattle him Thursday night?
Yeah, first of all, welcome back, David. Good
Thank
to
you,
hear
sir.
your voice. I'd say this. Pitt did a nice job. I don't want to take anything away. It was a combination of quality rush, collapse in the pocket, not giving him great room to step into his throws. I think they also brought some good pressures. And then thirdly, they changed up the coverage at times. So I think Pitt did a good job in all three areas. They made breaks on the ball. But also, I think Syracuse, they didn't play their best. I think there were some dropped balls that ended drives. Some of them were explosive plays. And, I think there's a couple decisions that McCord would like to have back, obviously. So, I look for an improved offense. I mean, they've played much more consistent, much better all year. Against North Carolina State, a good victory in Raleigh. They didn't have a turnover. NC State commits 3. Syracuse has 0. They win the game 24-17. So, I think that's probably more the type of team they are.
David asked you earlier about your third downs. Syracuse is top 12 in the country, both third down offense and third down defense. Why? How do they do it?
Yeah, first of all, I think their quick game has a lot to do with that. They'll throw the ball for 4 or 5 to stay on schedule. He's got that type of arm, that type of release. They'll snap a route off. He'll drop it in there. They'll get 4. They'll get 5. They do that on early downs quite a bit, just as effective as running the ball, for 4 or 5. So they do that. And then I think defensively it's their speed. They got some guys that can rush the quarterback. They got good speed in the secondary. Makes it challenging on third down.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach Pry? Okay, Travis.
I will come back in the room real quick for Damien.
You mentioned the running back LaQuint Allen. He 1,000-yard rusher last year. Even though he doesn't have the numbers this year, how wary do you have to be about how explosive he can be and what he can do in changing the running game for him? Yeah,
He's a good back, and he's got some big runs at different times over the last couple of weeks. Some explosive runs. I think they find ways to get him the ball because he is one of the better guys with the ball in his hands. We'll have to know where he is on the field.
Anything else for Coach? One last one with David.
Yeah. I'm curious in terms of them throwing it so much. Is it a different approach at all, or what do you tell, I guess, your safeties and stuff who've played very, very well the last couple of weeks about just being disciplined when, last couple of weeks they've been more in terms of the run game, pressing up and stuff. Is it anything different in terms of knowing that their head's probably going to be on a swivel a little bit more this game?
I think it's more so that it's the week of preparation, right? It's what they practice, what we started with on Sunday, what they'll see today, what they'll see tomorrow, Thursday. Just getting familiar with the type of throws, the frequency of throws within a period. And you have to make plays. It's not enough just to let them catch it and tackle them. You got to make plays on the ball. When I look at it, they've thrown the ball. They've had a couple of games with 60-plus passes, but I look at the NC State game, and it was low 40s, and they had a little bit more balance and, beat a good football team, playing a good brand of offense. Didn't turn it over, had some runs, quality throw game. I'm not sure if that's who they want to be or they want to throw it for 60. We'll have to see. All right, thanks, everybody.